One of the main reasons I was prompted to do the MBA is that my original education was not in the area of finance, although I did make that career shift. So I really wanted to put that into a framework where we also covered some of the academic background as well as the practical applied knowledge, both in finance and business in general.
I realised that if I wanted to progress, I needed to understand how companies operated and how they came together and how their parts interacted in order to achieve their goals. It was also to look at topics such as human resources, marketing, corporate finance, etc. All the things that make up the running of a company. And Manchester Business School offered me that.
So what I found most valuable in that order is the ability to integrate the different aspects of business. Although I did the MBA with a focus on finance, part of the purpose I had is to actually not just go and do a master's in finance per se, but be able to link that to the other courses that we were covering in the MBA.
I think these are the two elements. One, practice what I'm learning immediately, and secondly, yes, it should be a name beside me from one of the leading institutions in the world.
If you want to run an organisation, if you want to set strategy business, you have to understand how all those different facets come together. And so an MBA gives you an understanding of all those different facets of a business.
I think it's an element of actually, I don't really need the qualification, but I valued the learning, more the hands-on learning and the interaction and looking at it from a number of different angles, as opposed to very specialist knowledge in the area that I've already been in.
Having been in a technical role and very technically minded, I needed to change my mindset and change my way of thinking.
An MBA is about interaction, it's about developing relationships and experiencing other things through other people's experiences. And so Manchester Business School gave me the rankings that I wanted, the prestige that I wanted from a school, as well as the flexibility to study from Dubai.
Manchester Business School was one of the ones that were not only most reputable but had a very flexible program.
I found the flexibility and support that I was provided from Manchester Business School in coping with my travel plans, with my timing schedules, that helped me. But Manchester has been open to me that in any of their worldwide centers, they have given me options that I can do the workshops.
For me, the workshops are what this particular MBA is about. They make it what it is, make it what's different, what I believe managed to cap all the benefits that we've done from the learning to be brought together in these 3 days per subject.
Being there in workshops, looking at case studies, interacting, etc. with other students is just fantastic.
You get out of it as much as you put in, especially as you go into more applied and postgraduate work. And especially in the case of MBAs, is very much about applying what you're learning.
The method that Manchester uses, which is a lot of case studies, a lot of real life issues with some of the biggest companies in the world. And you can relate some of the things that you've learned to some of the things that you do in your working life, but also vice versa as well.
It's a very diverse group of students, so I do come across engineers, I do come across finance professionals, construction professionals.
The main reason I chose the Manchester MBA was the format of the workshops. It was critical for me to be able to interact in a classroom, to be able to speak to whoever's delivering the material, and there was an excellent set of people who we were interacted with who were teaching us the courses with a good combination of knowledge of the academic material and very real, practical, real-world experience, which we actually found very useful, and the combination of fellow students from a number of different disciplines. So when we worked in teams, we benefited each other, we focused on each other's specialties. So there's a lot of cross-learning.
It gave me a good insight into my own characteristics and where I'm strong, where I'm weak, etc., where I need to improve.
For me, it's actually one of the strong points of the Manchester MBA is to be able to get very much, probably 3/4 of the contact time you would need in a full-time MBA per subject, while at the same time not having to be doing it on a very regular basis, but condensing it to some extent. So you can manage your time as you're working, but at the same time have the benefit of being able to be in contact both with your fellow students and with the lecturers.
Whatever I am learning, I am able to apply in my job, and that obviously, yes, it makes me more visible when I apply the concepts that I learn here, and I have better performance and better results. that those are the tangible benefits to me.
It's definitely helped to raise my profile and made me more marketable within the company. I'm also transitioning into a new role, and that's partly been because my MBA has helped raise my profile, and it's sort of armed me with the tools to go into senior management.
Manchester Business School offered a good mixture of high rankings globally, internationally. It offered good value for money, and more importantly, it differentiated itself from other business schools by the fact that it offered workshops in Dubai.
I have always found the right support, all the information I need. Whenever I'd forgotten a password or was late with something, I had the information at the tips of my hand, always responsive. It really helped what's not an easy process. You're taking on study. It's quite involved. There's a lot of work to be done. And the support staff were absolutely fantastic. Having been through something tough, but rewarding, builds a sense of community with all your colleagues that have been there and others have been through the MBA.